Alright, just a little bit about the Taylor poems, the Preparatory Meditations. One thing that's really important to keep in mind about these poems is Taylor had no intention of writing these poems down and having them published widespread to get reputation or anything like this. These were all published after his death. I think if you understand that these are poems that he sat down to write just to help him prepare for his sermons that he planned on delivering, this is just stuff that was inspirational to him to get him kind of engaged in the topics he was going to preach about. It gives a little bit different of an appreciation for what we're reading here. One thing that's really surprising to a lot of students is some of the emotion that Taylor shows in these poems. For example, I think that there are many times he can be playful, which we may not really think of a Puritan minister equals playfulness, but I think Taylor here, he's somewhat playful in some of them. Maybe it's because he didn't know they would be published. I also think there is some suggested passion, sexuality, which if you think about Song of Solomon's, I'm not really familiar with the book of the Bible, but from what I hear about it, it's one of the more, I don't know if sexualized is the right word, but it's one of the more suggestive books of the Bible. From what I hear, I don't know if that's hearsay or not. One of the biggest emotions, though, that I really want to pay attention to was his on the marriage bed and death of a child. This poem really is an emotional poem, and if you think about it, read his biographical information, and you'll find out that he lost a couple of children that he cared very deeply for at a very early age. And I think that if you understand that this poem was written by someone who believed in God and believed in a loving God, having to deal with an experience such as having multiple children that you love very much die at an early age, he really tries to go through and logically justify in his own heart why this would be allowed to happen. So I really want you to pay attention when you read the poem, and if you've already read it, please go back and read the poem again, where he's talking about the death of his children. Look at the logic that he uses to explain the death. That's the big thing for the preparatory meditations. We will come back on the wasp chilled with the cold. Remember that poem. We're going to come back to that as an example of transcendentalism. So keep that in mind. We'll come back to it. But I'm going to post another video for the sinners in the hands of an angry God. So take a look at that next. Good luck.